Hey everybody, I just want to quick point out a few things from our Moodle shell and on the syllabus. Hopefully everybody's logged in at this point. You've been able to kind of read through this information up here. One thing that will be handy for you, by the way, as we continue to add in more topics, is that to get away from the endless scroll, because eventually this will be filled up with lots and lots of topics, and you're going to have to scroll a ways down for each of our days. You can actually click on the number over here because it's going to fill up with numbers over here, and I will highlight the one that we are working on for that day. Then you can just click on the highlighted one and then it'll jump down to the day that we're working on. So just kind of give you that tip. Um, Information that's posted up here. We've got exam dates that are tentatively given to you here based on our progress through the class. The times are here as well. If you have any conflicts with those dates and or times, you need to let me know as soon as possible, just so that we can talk through what might or might not be an option for you. So if you haven't already gotten in touch with me regarding these tentative dates and times, if it's a conflict for you, then please do that as soon as possible. As far as office hours, so office hours are going to be held asynchronously, which means not at a specific time, through the SOS forum. And I'll point that out here in just a second. And then also on Zoom by appointment. So I will be around this summer. I'm happy to meet with you. Um, this is the link you can go to if you would like to set up an appointment with me via Zoom. We can share screens and I can help answer your questions. So if we set up an appointment that way, you would just click right here on that Zoom link. As far as the SOS forum, that's down here, right here. So anyone know the answer to this? So feel free, if you have a question, you're more than welcome to click here into this forum and post a question to me. If one of your peers happens to see it before me and knows the answer, feel free to and go ahead and answer that as another classmate in the class. If you're able to answer that, you're more than welcome to do that. Other than that, I will, I'll be logging into class or logging into Moodle every day. And so I will be checking up on that SOS forum to see if there's any questions posted. You're also more than welcome to email me and or text me through Remind as well. So let's come back up here. If you are new to Zoom and you are nervous about using Zoom for either the test dates or for office hours, you can click on this Zoom tutorial that my colleague, Dr. Debbie Seacrest, recorded. They did a great job in putting that together, and you're more than welcome to watch that tutorial if you need some help with Zoom. Okay, Learning Center links. This is a resource that gets very much underutilized. If you would like to make an appointment with a tutor, I believe Matea is one of our tutors that's available this summer, and her hours are going to be variable based on the job or because of the job she's got this summer. But I do know that she is still around and available to help tutor. And so if that is something that you are wanting to do, I just provided some links here to allow you guys to access their page and to figure out what their hours are. If you happen to set up a meeting with Matea, you can just click on this link right here that I provided for you, and you can access that Zoom tutoring link right here. Other important class resources and links. All of these things that say print this right here, you do need to get those printed. These were also the items that I included in that email from last week. And so you do definitely want to get these printed, especially like here, this textbook and workbook. We are going to be starting working in that almost immediately. So you definitely want to get this printed out. I know some students are like, oh my gosh, it's so many pages. Well, it's your textbook. And so if you're printing it out on campus, it actually ends up costing you less than $2 because it's a penny a page for each copy. So anyway, it's a pretty good deal, but your textbook and workbook, you definitely want to get that printed out. This assignment checklist for EdReady, what's nice about this is that it is essentially showing you kind of your checklist as we work through this class. And so you're going to see kind of like where the exams fall in terms of the topics we're going to cover. And then we have an exam two, and then we have our cumulative final exam. And then, over here, it's helping you keep track of what was assigned. And almost always it will be the practice problems that are assigned in EdReady, and then the check your knowledge test, and not the review problems. I just put the review column in there just in case, because sometimes I'll assign the review problems instead of the practice problems. So anyway, it's just a nice checklist to kind of keep track of your grade on those different topics, and then kind of keep track of your progress through this block. So let me come back here to Moodle. How to take a screenshot. This link, you're probably going to need to access it. If you have not taken screenshots in a long time on your computer, definitely keep that link handy because you're probably going to use it. This Edulastic login page, don't worry about that for right now, but this is the tool we're going to be using for taking assessments, any quizzes or exams. So I just provided the link for you here. Then the videos that I have recorded, and then I'm in the process of still adding and recording more of them, and adding them to this playlist. But this is where you will be able to access all of the videos for instruction on just getting us through the topics that are in your textbook. And so this text again that I've asked you to print out right here, it's me working through the topics in this textbook, and then you guys will have printed this out, and you guys will follow along as I work through those topics. And those videos of me teaching and kind of talking you through those topics are going to be contained in this YouTube playlist. What else? So this EdReady login page, we're definitely going to be using this link quite a bit because we're going to be using EdReady nearly every day in this class. So you're going to want to use that link quite a bit. And then EdReady, if you've never used it before, I just put this student tutorial link on here in case it's helpful. It's not required for you to work through it, but it's on there in case you have some questions about EdReady. So I think that's all I wanted to tell you about that. The graph paper, you might need it by the time we get to probably like the last week or so of class. You might need some graph paper, but if you don't already have some, you can just click in here to this file and print some out for yourselves. All right, the Remind class announcements news feed. So the Remind application is something that is required that you sign up for. It just is a way for me to communicate with you quickly to say, hey, make sure you've logged into your EdReady and completed assignments A, B, and C for the day, or something like that. Like I'll just send a quick reminder, or hey, don't forget that your study guide's due tomorrow. Or if I need to adjust in a homework assignment, I will send that out through Remind. I also sometimes send answers out through Remind. So I'll take a picture of some answers and send that out to you guys. So you guys have an opportunity to check your work. So that's why I require that you guys sign up for it. This is also a widget that I put on my Moodle page. And so anything that I send out to you guys will also appear here in this widget. So I just want to point that out. So it'll appear on however you've signed up for it, and also right here as kind of like your class announcements. Then in terms of this class for what we're going to do this summer, every day I will make available the next day's topic. And so, I just made available our first day's kind of task list and agenda. And so, sometime by Monday evening, I will make Tuesdays available, just because I want you guys to kind of stay on pace and not work too far ahead, just so that we can stay kind of on track and together. So for each day, I will give you like a task list. And so I want you to think about this in terms of like each of these bullets being like an item you need to check off for the day. And so this first one is going to be watch the Moodle and syllabus overview video, which you're doing right now. So if you're watching this video, that's, you can check that item off your list. And then number 2 is going to be taking this EdReady diagnostic test. And so you should have received an email on Friday from the EdReady support team. The email address looks like this. If you didn't receive that email or if you can't find it, you need to contact Charity Walters in the registrar's office. She is who registers you all for the EdReady class. And so if you did not receive that email, you need to get in touch with her immediately so you can absolutely get this done today. You can also send me an email and just say, hey, that's not showing up for me. I've reached out to Charity and this is where I'm at in the process. But you can reach Charity. This is just the front desk at the registrar's office. And so you would then need to ask for Charity and just say you're having some EdReady login problems, or you can email her here as well. So then once you've logged into your EdReady account, you want to make sure that you are clicking on the goal that says M090 Companion. And then you want to verify that it's your name. So you just want to check all those things. Make sure that it's your name on your account that's in EdReady and that my name is showing up in the goal for my last name of Wright. And then you can go ahead and hit the start diagnostic or start the test. And again, this is not based off of an accuracy score. So you guys are going to be taking what feels like your final on the first day of class, which can feel pretty challenging and overwhelming. So don't worry about that, and it will feel challenging, but don't be afraid to just hit the skip button. And I put that here in your instructions too. As you're working through the problems, if you hit a problem and you have no idea how to do it, then just hit the skip button. That's exactly what it's there for, and you can move on to the next problem. And again, this is just a completion grade. This is not an accuracy grade. And the highest score you can receive on that diagnostic is a 75, and the lowest you can receive on it is a 25. And so even when I go through it and I just am checking through the questions to make sure it's a correct diagnostic for you guys, I hit skip on every single problem and end up getting 25 for my score because I hit skip on all those problems. So anyway, I just want to give you that heads up that it will feel challenging. That's totally normal. Don't let it discourage you for today. Once you have finished your diagnostic, there's no need to save anything because I'm going to be able to see your score through my teacher portal. And then I want you to come back here to Moodle and I got to fix that typo. I want you to come back here to Moodle and finish off your task list here. So if you haven't already printed these items, I definitely want you guys to print those items that are listed here. They are the same things that say print this in the blue box up above. So any of these things that say print this at the end, I want you guys to make sure that you're printing those items. You need to make sure you're signing up for Remind. Then here are the last two items. I want you completing this general information form. This is just a form that allows me to get to know you guys a little bit better. That's right here. So you can click on this general information form. I'm going to have the questions right here that I want you guys to answer. And you can come down here and hit add submission because here are the questions. You can come down here and hit add submission. And then in this box, you can just, hit the number button here and just start typing in the answers to these. So this nickname or name you would prefer for me to call you, you may not have anything. You might say none. Or for me, I would be like, please call me Liz, not Elizabeth, because I go by Liz instead of Elizabeth. So anyway, you can just, type directly in your answers and say hometown. Well, where are you from? For me, my original hometown is Kansas City. But for you guys can just go through here and finish filling in your answers. And once you're done, you can hit save changes and submit. So let me get back to Monday. So you're going to finish filling out that general information form. And then finally, I need you to post an introduction in the introductions forum right here. Just make sure too that you check out the rubrics so you know how to earn your full credit. So here you can click on this introductions. Please note that your initial post is due by Tuesday at 8:15 a.m. And then I have in here some directions for you for the rest of the posting. and kind of replies that I want you to do. So there's some additional postings, so some replies that I would like for you to do. So in your initial introduction, I want you guys to make sure that you're answering these 4 questions, including making sure you're attaching or uploading a picture so that we have that. And then again, that needs to be done by Tuesday at 8:15. Then I'm wanting you to read or watch all of your peers' posts, and then you need to thoughtfully respond to at least 2 of your peers' posts. And then the responses need to be done by Thursday at 8:15 Mountain Standard Time. And again, the thoughtfully respond means more than just like, hey, cool, I thought that was awesome what you said. Like, I'm wanting you to, carry on the conversation with your peers because you're trying to get to know them better. And then finally, the last thing I'm wanting you to do is to respond to your peers' posts that were made on your initial post. So if you made your initial post and then you have peers that respond to your initial post, I want you going back and reading through those. And if there's anything that you need to respond to, like if they asked you a follow-up question, then you need to answer their question through that. And then here you can click on this grading criteria to see how your grades are going to be calculated based off the rubric that I provided for you here. And then on this manage forum subscriptions, it might be helpful for you that you can go ahead and you can hit subscribe to the forums. So that way you make sure that you don't miss any of the responses or the posts for that. And I think that is going to be it. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, please just make sure you reach out to me, you ask, definitely advocate for yourselves as you are kind of going through this class. So that's all I wanted to talk about regarding Moodle. And then here we're going to check out the syllabus. I'm just going to point out a couple of things because the rest of it you guys can read through here. But again, it is required. Make sure you sign up for Remind. You can absolutely text me whenever, truly anytime. I will put my phone on Do Not Disturb when I head to bed. Here's my email address too, that you can make sure that you are emailing me or texting me to ask any questions. What else? Course structure, I've already kind of talked through that. Your notes are going to be an absolutely valuable tool for you. So here's something I've not mentioned yet, but you are going to get to use your notes on all assessments, all quizzes, all exams. And so you really want to make sure that your notes and your workbook are completely finished and correct. So you just want to make sure that you are just staying caught up with class, staying caught up with the videos, and making sure your notes are caught up. What else? The grading portion of it, if you were wondering how your grade's going to be calculated, it's going to be broken down into a few different categories. You've got your Ed-Ready assignments that are going to be worth 30% of your grade. You've got your in-class work that's going to be worth 25% of your grade. Exam 1's 10%, exam 2's 15%, and your final exam, which is cumulative, will be 20% of your grade. I want to point out, because I structured it a little bit differently this time around, but your quizzes, we're going to have quizzes every once in a while. They're going to be put into this in-class work category as well, just because it's something that we're typically going to be kind of doing, as part of our in-class work. And sometimes I allow you guys to work on those in groups too. So anyway, that's where quizzes are going to fall as well. And in order for you to pass the class, you've got to fulfill 2 requirements. One of them, you've got to get at least a 70% on your open notes cumulative final exam. And then you also need a 70% or better, like overall in the class. If you were wanting to move on and take the 095 intermediate algebra class. However, and this is only for certain majors, so please, please, please be careful with your major here. You have to earn at least an 80% or better if you are wanting to skip 095 and move directly into a terminal math course like 105 contemporary math or 127 math topics. You have to get at least an 80%, which is a B minus, in order to skip 095 and move directly into one of those classes. And again, that's only an option depending on your major. So you want to make sure that you are having that discussion with your advisor to make sure that that is an option for you. And I think that is really the rest. It's really what I wanted to point out to you guys, because the rest of it you guys can read through here. The one other thing I'm going to point out is the academic honesty kind of portion, and then cheating on exams or assessments. You, on all assessments, you are allowed to use your notes, a non-graphing calculator, graph paper, and scratch paper. Any other resource outside of those that are listed. So that would include like using photo math on your phone, using Mathways, calling a friend, using a family member, doing a Google search. Anything else like that would be considered cheating, and it's absolutely not tolerated. You end up getting a 0 on the assignment and then also a failing grade in the class. And honestly, it's happened about every class so far this past year. And so it's really unfortunate, and it's super awkward to talk with the student about that, and kind of confront the student about that situation. And it's really unfortunate that it goes on your permanent academic record. And I just really want to encourage you to just don't do it. I know it can be tempting, but just try to close all of those windows of temptation down, whether you've got like photo math on your phone or a tab opened up on your computer when you're taking a quiz or assessment. Just close them all down so that you're not even tempted during an assessment. And I know I keep telling you I'm done, and then I'm like, oh yeah, one more thing for the attendance and makeup work. Um, I put in here, you should plan on attending class every day. Attending classes in quotes, because it means I need you to log into Moodle at least once every day to check out what the daily agenda and assignment is going to be. I don't accept any late homework unless there is some exceptional circumstance and you have been in contact with me about it. So let's say something happens and then you don't contact me, and then several days go by, and then you're like, hey, Liz, what about this thing that I saw that I missed? Well, at that point, the answer is probably going to be no, you can't make it up. But if something occurs, some emergency or exceptional circumstance occurs, and you contact me immediately, oftentimes I will be able to work something out for you. That's not all of the time, but oftentimes I can make something work. But you just need to make sure that you are communicating with me immediately as soon as you are able to. Um, Also, special accommodations. If you have any letter from the Dean of Students Center that just says, hey, I have a special accommodation for assessments or notes or something like that, just get that letter to me as soon as possible so that we can be working through your accommodations. And I do believe that's finally it as far as things I wanted to point out. And I will just leave this here for you too, this student counseling services and mandatory employee reporting, because it's really great information if you are needing to get in contact with our counselor. It is free and confidential. Heidi Peterson is amazing. She is a counselor on our campus. You can have a meeting with her via Zoom or in person in her office. Totally free, totally confidential. Fantastic resource for you guys. And I think I think that's finally it. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and we'll chat at you in class really soon. Thanks. Bye.